Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well and welcome to the fifth and final battle of round 1 of our viewer PvP fleet competition 1960 to 1985. We've had 4 battles so far. Guitar versus Pony, Guitar 1. Fly versus Corp, Fly 1. Cap versus Davros, Cap 1, and Ed versus Red, and Ed 1. Today is the 5th battle, which is Dirty versus Alien 1317. Dirty is going with 4 Tychos. This is pre-1986, obviously, at 59 points each. 2 Iowas at 35 points each. 2 Spruances at 40 points each. And 2 Noxes at 6 points each. Total 398. And remember, you're allowed up to 400 points. Alien has gone for 3 Virginias. And one thing I've just noticed, no Russians here. I mean, the Russians have proved to be so potent. They're cruisers, they're battle cruisers, but no Russians. Interesting. 3 Virginias, 50 points each. 4 Oliver Hazard-Perrys, 33 points each. And 3 Lucians, 30 points each. Total 372 points. And remember, you don't have to use the total 400 points. Here are their layouts, although you probably can't see it at this resolution. Here is it transplanted into game. So we're going to start with our 150-mile battle. There is Bullseye. The blues today are Dirty. The reds are Alien. Let's start with Dirty's fleet. At the 75-mile point here from Bullseye is Dirty's flagship, elected as an Iowa battleship. So we've got Iowa here, Nox here, Tycho, Spruance, and Spruance, and that is 10 miles there, and that is 7.5 miles there. Over to Alien. Interesting fleet constitution. He has his flagship here as an OHP. He has an OHP here, OHP here, OHP here. Lucians, and Virginia. Total 7 miles front to back. Left to right, we have 5 miles. Again, interesting. I think the first battle where there's been no Russian ships on either side. So both are going to have considerably less firepower at long range than we're used to seeing. I'm not going to explain the rules because we've done 4 of these now. I'm going to assume you already know the rules. I'm going to press play and off we go. Welcome in, viewers. We're starting looking at Dirty's fleet heading to the east. Now, the first thing that's going to happen, obviously, is a single helicopter will take off from each flagship as per the rules. Get to the Bullseye here. As soon as they get to Bullseye, they will be converted into an official AEW. Then their fleet will be able to see. Then all boom boom starts off. Now, as we remember, the Iowa in sea power doesn't actually have a helicopter, and some of the commanders elected to have their Iowas as their flagship, which is a bit of a problem. But I've got to remember that some of those commanders don't actually play sea power, and when they research which helicopters operate, they use the kind of wiki data, the real life data, and indeed Iowa did operate helicopters in real life. So because of that, I've allowed them SH2s, and that's it. Not much is going to happen for a while. It's 1000 hours now. Speed forward. Both are operating SH2s, I'm pretty sure, as that's what the flagship is going to be operating on the red side as well. OHP uses SH2, so theoretically, if I've done my job right, SH2 should reach Bullseye at the same time on both sides. Spat it out in the end. Inclement weather today, viewers. Emissions being picked up from Alien's SH2, and I have. Right, I'll let them reach Bullseye. At this point, if you remember what happens, viewers, is I delete them and I replace them with fixed AEW, and that means that the fleets can start operating with a realistic AEW radar in place. Just let them reach. Ever so slightly out of sync there, you can see I've made a tiny geographical error, but it's like a fraction of a mile. Alright, I'll be back. Welcome back. The deed is done. The helicopters have been removed. 2 E2s have been put in play, and oh my goodness, we're starting to pick up lots of stuff. As the E2 starts seeing the ships, and remember, hiding your ships is a valid target. The radars are modelled pretty well, but it doesn't look like these guys are going to be hidden very well. I'm just going to pause now. What I'm going to do is declare these as hostile. It's just something I have to do as per how the game works. Don't worry, it'll be pretty much equal on both sides. Second thing I'm going to do is a small clean-up. These are ASW helicopters which play no role in today's gameplay. I'm going to quickly remove them. ASW removed. Here we go. Right, blues are opening up. Let's see what's happening. There's only 2 ships on the blue side with a range to fire today, and that is the 2 Iowas. which are firing their RGM-109 Maritime Tomahawks, 8 each. 16 missiles out. Nothing else, I believe, has the range to fire. In response, Red are firing. We won't see the missiles on the map. OHP doesn't have anything. Virginia doesn't have anything. It has harpoons. No one has Lutyens. Where is that? No. Well, this is interesting. Alien doesn't actually have any missiles of range above 65 miles, so he's not actually going to be participating in the 150-mile battle. That's interesting. Well, everyone knew the rules, guys, when we started up, so it must be a tactical ploy of some kind, or I'm not sure what kind of ploy it is. This is the first time we've seen a battle, or a first stage battle, where only one side can fire. So this one may be a little bit boring for you viewers. Don't worry, it'll hot up in the 50-mile battle after this. What's it going to mean? So only one side can fire, so you win by destroying the most points worth of ships. So it means that if any red vessels are fully sunk, that means blue will win the 150-mile battle, because no blues can be sunk unless they amazingly blow themselves up, which has absolutely not happened. So, alright, well, it's different. If you're saying, where's the red AWACS gone? It is there, viewers. I've made it undetectable, so that it doesn't get shot down by accident in our roleplay. So it is there. They can definitely see the blues. They have just, they don't have any sufficient weaponry. Alright, missiles about 30 miles out. Start slowing the system down. Just double check they're all set up right. Weapons free. Yep, they're fully ready to defend. Missiles are 36 miles out. I'm going to go right underneath this helicopter now. There they are. Slow down, check the distance. They are 20 miles out. Interesting seeing this old school line astern type formation going on here. Okay, we've got defensive actions going on now. It's going to go broadside to unleash whatever he's got. Sea-Wiz, no Sea-Wiz. Whatever he's got. Missiles out from Virginia. Of course, 2 Mark 26 twin-arm launchers firing SM-1 medium range. Right, how well are these Tomahawks going to penetrate? And remember, all they've got to do is take down one vessel. Lutyens pretty broadside. Her defense is a single Mark 13 one-arm launcher. Twin naval gun on Virginia. Have any of the Tomahawks been taken down yet? Unknown. Only a firepower, one taken out there. But there was 16. I would be surprised if at least one of these Tomahawks didn't get through and sink a ship, to be honest. Depleted on the north. OHP is going to get hit. Sea-Wiz. Bad Sea-Wiz. OHP's hit. That's a sunk OHP. That's game over. That's a sunk OHP. Well, viewers, rules are rules. They've committed damage. Lots of damage. Oh, just shot. Oh, the whole friggin' midships blew off. Out of interest, let's just let it burn and see how many go down. So one Virginia was fully destroyed immediately. One Perry has now sunk, was sinking, and this Perry is staying alive. So was it 50 points for a Virginia? 33 points, so 83 points go to blue. Well done on first round. And welcome to round 2. This is the 50-mile non-tactical battle. Everyone can see everyone immediately. A pure firepower test, and it starts straight away as harpoons are launched from this Ticonderoga. So now Red definitely can respond because we're within harpoon range and they very much depend on their harpoon. So you can see the Virginia firing there. OHP taking its sweet time, and I think Lutyens also has harpoon question mark. It has, but it's not firing. Why is it not firing? Engaging surface target with RGM-84. I think it's just taking its sweet time. I think an interesting difference is going to be that I believe all of the blue guys fire their harpoons from, you know, these preset launchers where they can just salvo them off very quickly, and you can see them all. I don't know how many that is. That's probably 100 missiles, maybe more. 80 missiles, 8 per ship. Oh man, this is going to be bad. Whereas, interestingly, the Reds are firing from Mark 13 launchers that take like 20 plus seconds to fire each missile. So they're just going to dribble in rather than that giant salvo immediate attack. That said, I think Virginia has yes, Virginia... No, hang on. I've got to try and remember now. I don't know how Virginia fires hers, but look at the Perry. She's only fired 3 so far because it takes so long to rearm the Mark 13 launcher. Same with Lutyens. She's only fired 3 because it takes so long to rearm the launcher. Presumably there's literally a little guy down there adding these missiles to the magazine, and it takes time. So that is an immediate problem. Again, this guy fires all of his missiles straight away. This guy fires... God, I can't even see his launchers. He's got them, but I can't see where they are. I presume he's fired them all straight away again. Spruance, yes, amidships there, he's fired them all straight away. And Tycho on the stern, I think it is. Yes, there they are. There, fired them straight away. Now here's the next question. Why have some ships, like this blue ship, retained 3 missiles? Well, it depends on the missile firing tables that they have. They have a set amount of threat based on how many ships they see, and that decides how many missiles they fire. So as a group, he doesn't need to fire all his missiles. It's all inbuilt. Kind of as per real life, to be honest. Missiles are crossing the middle here. But I reiterate, my gut feeling is that Blues have just fired much more missiles much more quickly. Because look, Reds are still only firing their missiles still. Yeah, look, they're still only just firing their missiles. So they're just going to dribble them in slowly, which is going to have no penetrative effect at all. SM2s being fired by Tychos. Each Tycho, of which there are 4 on blue, have 2 twin arm Mark 26 launchers. So 4 launchers in total, if you know what I mean. So I'd say defense probably favours blue. The Virginia on red have 2 twin arm launchers as well, but there's only 3 ships doing that. The rest are Mark 13s. And those here's a really interesting point. Those Mark 13s can either fire harpoons or surface-to-air missiles. And they're tied up still firing harpoons, so there's actually no defence coming out from all these ships. So a huge deficit on red today in terms of what offensive missiles they're firing and how their defensive power can be. So yeah, really interesting choice by Alien. Defensive gunfire, right, I haven't been watching. So we've got SM2s going in here. Because everything's together, I'm not sure how to watch this, viewers. Some sort of overview there doesn't really help, does it? I don't know. We probably just have to stick with someone and watch. It's probably going to be the Blues that penetrate from what I've seen, for the reasons that we talked about. The red missiles, you know, they're much more spread out longitudinally. They'll keep appearing and appearing and appearing, whereas the blues are much more concentrated longitudinally, and that's much more harder to deal with, obviously. Oh geez, hard to watch, right? Well, we know no reds have got through yet, we can see that. Probably going to have impacts here. Does Virginia even have Seaways? I'm not sure Virginia even has Seaways. Oh, shot. Pause! Alright, viewers, let's just take a minute to have a look around. So, we've got red RGMs, which are still a few miles out. Again, they were just fired slower, and which means they've been taken out. The front of the attack's been taken out, whereas blues is in the middle now of the red fleet. I think this is a one-way mission for sure. The amount of missiles fired looks about even on each side. Impact. And that is swamped and overwhelmed. But it's kind of what we predicted, right? Because look how spread out the red missiles are. They're spread out by 30 miles. The blues were spread out by only 10 miles. Quick look over on the reds, if I can. Red missiles have got in. Targeting doesn't look the best. Back to the blue missiles. Oh my goodness. The whole red fleet's gone up. The whole red fleet's gone up. And look, the red missiles, being so spread out, are still just being spotted. It's a defender's dream. Well, I'm afraid to say, this was always a one-way battle. That's it, blue attack finished. Now red attack. The question is now, can they sink anything? So blue have better defense. They have much, much better offense. Can anything be sunk? You see how spread out it is? It's just so much easier to defend like that because you've got so much more aiming time and shooting time. It's like when I do my ballistic missile attacks against IAD systems and DCS, the closer you put the missiles in together, the harder it is to defend, time-wise. But I suggest probably no blue ships are going to be hit today. Final last few missiles dribbling in. So when you plan your fleet, viewers, you've got to not just plan for offense and defense, but you've got to plan for your rate of fire. How quickly are you going to get your missiles off the rail? And a Mark 13 launcher just isn't going to give you that quick firepower that you need to overwhelm an Aegis. And here we saw a beautiful example of Aegis in the 1980s. One's finally going to get hit! They got one. What was that? That's a Nox frigate, but it doesn't really matter. Going for the flagship Iowa. Can the flagship, that's dirty on the bridge there. No, he's not going to hit today. Friendly fire, question mark? Alright. One blue is hit. Now, oh my god, loads of more missiles. Well, what happened there was, because the blues survived their first salvo, and because all of the blue missiles got to target quicker, they then could do their follow-up, whereas red never had a chance to do their follow-up. Well, here comes their follow-up, but it's going to be pretty miserable because not many ships were left alive to do the follow-up. Is there anyone left to defend on our red side? There is some defence. We'll start speeding it up a bit now, less missiles in play. So the total missiles fired on both sides is almost certainly equal in the first salvos, but how they fired them was not equal. Nice missiles going on the Virginia. Not want to be there right now. Oh, and she's already beat up already. Yes, she does have twin Sea Whiz. Last Isle of Virginia. Well, alright, let's speed it forward. Oh look, here comes the alien second wave. Yeah, don't think that's going to do too well. One Tycho. Oh no, that's going to sink as well. Of course it is. Well, I don't think we've seen a thrashing this bad before, viewers. It's terrible. Lucian's down. Perry down. Perry down. Virginia down. Virginia down. Virginia down. Lucian's down. Perry down. Lucian's down. Perry, well, about to be down to almost no losses. Let's try and understand why it happened. And I made a prediction at the beginning, watching the missiles being fired. About 80 missiles were fired on both sides, or 60, or whatever it was. It was about the same because, you know, the threat is about the same on both sides. But the blue missiles were fired all within a few seconds, or, you know, a couple of minutes. Whereas the blue missiles took 10 minutes plus. Sorry, the red missiles took 10 minutes to fire on the single arm launchers of the vast majority of their vessels. Therefore, it was never a threat. It never managed to overwhelm Aegis. So it was a pretty simple one. Absolute and complete destruction, viewers, I'm afraid to say there. So Dirty wins 2 out of 3 already, but we'll do the 1 mile guns battle just to see if Reds can get any kind of self-respect back. And already I can see which way this is going to go, because only one side has 16-inch guns of the Iowa battleship. So, sorry, alien, this ain't going to go well. Luckily for Alien, the turret rotation is pretty miserable. And the guy who's driving these ships is terrible because look, he's going to mask his front turrets. Oof, already dead. He's already dead. Look, he's masked his own stupid turrets. What an idiot. Why do they sail so stupid? Well, not really going to matter. Anyone? Let's see. Anything of interest? Lucian's there, on fire. Virginia's taking a smashing. Nox not even attacked. Missiles are going up. What missiles are happening? Let's have a look. Oh, no, I don't know what that is. Waste of missiles is what that is. Another Lucian's destroyed. Perry destroyed. There's just more firepower. I mean, Blues have taken a battering as well, but I'd say there's just so much more firepower. Boom. Who's that? Whatever that was. That's a Perry that's been smashed to pieces. I mean, one small 76mm gun versus two 5 inches. It just doesn't compare. Again, one, whatever gun this guy has, probably 76mm, against two 5 inches, doesn't compare. Iowa still facing the wrong direction, but Iowa, even when it's facing the wrong direction though, it's got 6-inch guns on the side. More, you know, it's just, they're so overgunned compared to anything else here that it's all completely irrelevant. There's no missile. Oh, there might be some missile action. That guy, because Iowa's moved out of 1 mile range, he's put himself within wares of missiles from this guy here, look, who's now shooting him with missiles. Well, that's kind of an Iowa problem, right? One Perry firmly dislodged from the world. 2 Perry dislodged. It's only a frigate at the end of the day. Direct fire SM2 because Iowa was a knob face. I'm not gonna correct him. If he wants to run away, he'll run away. Virginia, big, tough cruiser. Taking a beating and doing it well. Well, it's not over yet, viewers. Oh, I don't know, actually. The Perrys have suffered terribly. Lucians are not doing a great deal better, and they're firing them. Oh, they've got 2 guns. What type of gun are they? Oh, they're 5 inches. They're twin 5 inches, so they've got the same amount of firepower as the Tychos, and that's why they're dealing out as much damage as they are. Fair enough. Virginia. Well, the Iowas. Okay, the Iowas turned back broadside. Ouch. What can you say except ouch? Look, that one who just ran away just got smashed by missiles and he's down. But this one, not touched. And look at the amount of firepower just smashing out of him. We lost in Iowa. Yeah, he fully died. Well, that's his own fault. Don't feel sorry for him. Look at the firepower going down on that guy. I don't even know who it is. This guy. He's not going to last much longer. Look at that. 16-inch, 5-inch. I don't know how we survived this long, to be honest. Stoic Germans, just watching. Oh, not so stoic now. It's sunk. One perfect condition battleship's just going to wipe the whole rest of the fleet out, look. Dijin, dijin, dijin. His whole armament just took down another one. Going on here. Oh, this guy, oh, Virginius. 2 left and red. One left on red. Well, Mr. Alien, I can only apologise to have your fleet so comprehensively smashed today. And we found reasons all the way through. For the closer range, it was the 16-inch guns. They were always going to win whichever side they were on. For the 50-mile range, it was the rate of fire. It was clear as day that was going to happen. And for the 150-mile, only one side had the range of the missiles. So it is what it is. Thanks for taking part. Thanks for being a punching bag. Dirty, you're going through to round 2, which will start in a couple of weeks' time. And there's the last one, viewers. I hope you enjoyed that, and bye-bye.